let's give you your dose of Single Sunday. What's going to be going on? Well, I'm going to move this mic a little bit closer, and we're going to dive right into it. Is we end up having our poll list. This is where we end up having the comic books that we ended up wanting to read being polled, put in a bin, and it's a great way for us to guarantee to get the stories that we want, and it's a guaranteed sale for the comic book shop that we ended up going to. Our local comic book shop is Rebel Sanctuary. Mad props over to you to be able to set stuff up and going on with that. All right, so let's get your dose of Single Sundays going on the train. What is that? Well, we're going to go with A Blast from the Past. What's A Blast from the Past? Well, it's a book that we ended up missing, so we ended up picking it up later, and that is Boss Battle. This is from the KO run. Main reason I wanted to pick this up was Samantha, because it's a bear, so you got to support our fellow bear, right? Exactly. Being a grizzly veteran like I am, I ended up reading this book, and it's all right. You have some big characters that you have inside there. Other than Samantha, you have some more combat. You have some craziness that you ended up getting introduced. You have a good fight that you see with Wonder Woman fighting Red Sonja, which is an amazing matchup. I would like to see an issue of that itself. But overall, I have to say this is a meh. But I'm still glad that I picked it up because you got to support a bear. Now we're going to get to the core of it because now we're in our area where we end up ranking what we ended up picking up this week. This is this week's pickup, and oh my goodness, it's a lot. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 comics. Oop, I got to cover that one up a little bit better so that way you don't know what it is. I ran out of boards. Anyways, we got 5 comics. So that means we have a top 5. That's right. We finally have a top 5 issues that we have for this week. What are those, our top 5? What we're going to see? Who we're going to see? What's going to be what? Why did it go that way? Well, we're going to find out in 3, 2, 1, go. Coming in at number 5 is going to be Moon Knight. Issue number 1, or Mark Spector, Moon Knight, issue number 1. My bad. This ended up having a little bit of story that ended up coming over with it. We ended up seeing Spector trying to get pumped for information, but not giving information. And all of this to be able to bring out Moon Knight, which you have some subtleties that you're going to see throughout the entire story. That's not the complete story, of course, but that's enough little teaser for you to be able to think about grabbing this guy. That was number 5, so it was all right. All these stories were all right. They ended up being all right, all the way up to solid. So, coming in at number 4 is going to be DC KO number 4. So, we're almost done with this KO event. The big thing is that it started off good. Got going with it good because it's an absolute banger that you can end up seeing. It has some absolute action and absolutely surprises you, but I feel like it got subtly and it kind of died right off, and that's why we ended up sneaking over to number 4 with that. Number 3, woo buddy, we got Thundercats Valentine's Day Special, number 1 by Dynamite. I ended up enjoying this. It ended up having a bunch of cool. So in here we have Panthro actually brokering a deal between the 2 different tribes. With somehow, some way, he ends up pulling it off. What does he ended up doing? Oh my goodness, you end up having to find out. It's a nice little pizzazz that he ended up working. Nice deal that they ended up coming with it. And there's a nice, warm ending that's into this book. A solid little grab, solid little Thundercats. And who would have thought that Panthro would have a little soft side? So now we're coming over to number 2. That's right, number 2 of the week. And that's going to be the Absolute Wonder Woman, the annual number 1. But that's another exciting story that comes over with it. We end up having Diana figure our way out to be able to help Medusa to get to, I would say, her base form. But there was a bunch of sacrifices. and some shenanigans that comes over ways, and a little bit of a learning curve for our young Diana. Well, I don't know how young she is, but either way, there was some learning that she ended up doing. It's a nice, solid book, had some good action, had a good plot, had a good series that came along with it. Definitely well worth the ride. Now we're coming up to the top book of the week. That's right, the number one book. I have to say, before I dive into it, it's crazy that it kept on going. It was one of my favorite series that we ended up reading, and I was going to stop, but I'm glad I didn't because it keeps on getting a little bit better. It keeps on progressing pretty decently. What is that story? Well, that is Transformers issue number 29. Yep, issue number 29. We have Megatron going all crazy that goes along with it. Optimus Prime doing Optimus things. And we got a little bit of a Devastator halfways combining. This either way is something interesting. But by the end, we end up seeing Optimus has to answer to a certain someone about choices that he ended up making. Who is that someone? What was these choices that he made? Well, most of those questions are going to be answered in issue number 29. And one of those other questions are going to be answered, well, if you kept on reading the series. Definitely something I'm super impressed. Not a super big Kirkman fan. I do love Invincible, but pretty much everything else I've read, it's kind of been lack of luster, except for this. I have a few books that I end up bringing, but I regress. I also has Dan Morrow on art, which I love Dan Morrow, and that guy is legitimately a machine. He can write a bunch or draw a bunch of books. Either way, it's a stellar grab. I think if you're a Transformer fan, you won't be depressed with that. So that is your daily dose of Single Sundays. Singles Sunday? There we go. That's your daily dose of your Single Sunday. And I want to thank you for coming over and enjoying it with me. What do you think of it? Let us know down in the comments down below what book you think would be the best book of the week. If you ended up reading something else, let us know as well. Thank you for watching, and until next time, we'll see you later.